just tell you how incredibly honored I am to receive this award. And I want to thank everyone here in the audience that I've worked with for so many years, because my days, along with Senator Kennedy, have been about your days. And I certainly want to thank, for sure, Patrick and Teddy Jr., who we've done a lot of work together, and they know how much, I very much miss their dad. But I will tell you a story. Patrick and Teddy Jr. and I met a long time ago, and they probably don't even remember this, but I want to tell the story for them. They were little guys, and I was a waitress. And they came in to the restaurant where I was working for Teddy Jr.'s birthday. And he had about 12 of his friends that were with him, and I was the waitress. I didn't know him, he didn't know me, and they're never going to remember this. But I was waiting on them, and you never saw a bunch of kids that made a bigger mess. And for anyone that's waitress, you know how difficult that is. There was lettuce everywhere. There was carrots. There was tomatoes. They had all 15 guys. They had a great time. But it took me about 3 hours after they left to clean up everything. When they left, as part of the tip that they left, there was a Kennedy $50. So I remember driving home that night from the restaurant, and I was so excited. I was like, oh, I got a Kennedy $50 from a real Kennedy. Kennedy $50 from a real Kennedy. About 20 or 15 years later, I was telling their dad, the senator, this story, and he said, are you still excited about your Kennedy $50? And I said, no, I'm not excited anymore, no. But I do remember this. I still have the $50, and I do still have it, and I love it. So we did cross paths very early in your life, and I'm sure that your kids are a lot cleaner when they go to the restaurant than you were for your mom and dad. But in all seriousness, I had the absolute privilege to work for Senator Ted Kennedy for a little over 15 years. And I can tell you that I think the comments that were made by Vice President Biden when he came to visit with staff after Senator Kennedy's death really said it all. And what he said to us as staff was, Senator Kennedy made people better. And it was all captured in that one sentence. And those of us who are still there working on healthcare reform look every day and think about how different things might still be if he was there, because he did make people better. For people with disabilities, he was unbelievably committed, because he really did see and appreciate the value and contribution that people with disabilities make to this country, and how much they make this country a better place. And that's truly all of you. And I will share just one personal story before I go of how he made our family better. As you know, I have 7 children, and I guess about maybe 7 years ago, I brought my youngest one to work with me, and he was all dressed in his baseball uniform. My guys are very committed to baseball, 4 boys and 3 girls, and a number of them are here tonight. And I brought him to work with me, and you know how kids are when you bring them to your work. They don't want to be there. Why do I have to drag behind my mom? And he was all dressed in his baseball uniform because we were headed to the Virginia Little League State Championship. And I had this meeting with Senator Kennedy and Senator Domenici in the Capitol. And we went over and we met Senator Kennedy right outside of Senator Domenici's hideaway. And there was a chair outside the door. And I said, Ben, you sit here, and I'll be out in a couple minutes. And Senator Kennedy came up and he said, no, you sit there. He's coming in with me. So, and this has haunted me ever since. And so we both went in. And what was fascinating was in the hour we were in there, we spent maybe 10 minutes on mental health parity. But when we walked in, the first thing, Ben sat down, the first thing Senator Kennedy said was, oh, this is my friend Ben, and he plays baseball, and he's headed for the Little League World Series, and they're so excited to go. And so Senator Domenici said, well, I bet you people didn't know I was a left-handed pitcher from the Midwest once. So then then they said, well, let's go out and get Jim Bunning. So they brought Jim Bunning in. Now they're moving the furniture all about, right? You got these 3 guys, and you got Senator Domenici, seeing if he still has any elbow in that left arm. You got Senator Bunning, and he's trying his thing. And you got Kennedy talking. And what I watched happen was this fella who came with me that day, who didn't want to be there, all of a sudden was standing up straight. he was happy. And what I watched was how Senator Kennedy validated that what was important to him was as important as what we were there to do. He made him a better person. This fella now is a junior in high school and he's pitching 90 miles an hour. And I am convinced that part of that started with the actual validation that was a really great thing, every bit as good as what we do every day. So I will thank you so much for this award. Thank you, AAPD. Andy, you guys have done a fabulous job on this gala tonight. And thank you to all of you who have worked so hard for so many years, because you all have made the world a better place, and you've certainly made it a better place for all people with disabilities. So thank you so much for this. I do have a very important thank you that I have to say before I leave, and that's to my family. As you know, I have 4 boys and 3 girls, and 1 daughter who does have a significant intellectual disability. And it's a long time to work up in Congress for that many years, and my gang did everything to stick together, and my husband's awesome, and you guys at table 44, you made this happen.